Well, welcome. I'm Perry Williams, and this is the Hamilton County Coaches Show, sponsored by Greek's Pizzeria, Logan Street Signs, and Noblesville Trophies. Good day, and today for this first interview, I got the Fishers head high school baseball coach, Rick Wimmer. Welcome, Coach.
Welcome. Thank you.
Well, Coach, man, that was a ball game.
I was proud of our kids' effort. Feel like 3 weeks in a row we've played in games that we certainly had chances to win and maybe should have won. But Brownsburg is an outstanding team, and we just made a couple too many mistakes to be able to pull off the win. But very proud of our kids' effort. I thought they wore us down a little bit at the end, but I thought our kids gave it everything they had.
Yeah, the one thing about it, Coach, I mean, first quarter score 7-7, the second quarter score 14-13, and then they went up 21-17, and it looks like that third and fourth quarter you got 3 points and they got 7. Can you take us through that a little bit?
Early in the game, our defense got us a couple turnovers. Actually, the first turnover we got was they just dropped the ball in front of us, and our defense was able to come up with a recovery, Jeffrey Brown, and put our offense back on the field in very good field position. But we didn't do anything with it, and had to give them the ball back. And very early in that drive, Emmanuel Davis picked the ball. Picked the pass and ran it back to the 1, and so we got the early score 7-0, and a lot of our we did drive the ball some later in the game, but our defense came up with a couple turnovers that gave us short fields, and that certainly helped us. They tied the game in the second quarter, or could have tied the game, but Roman Molden blocked an extra point to give us a 14-13 halftime lead. And then in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, we had some good drives, but had to settle for field goals. We had a situation where we threw a couple balls into the end zone from inside the 10-yard line. We really struggled running the ball, and we've been very good running the ball the last 3-4 weeks, and but Brownsburg, we knew going in we were going to have a hard time running the ball. They are very stingy on defense, with their run defense particularly. But I would hope that we could have run it a little bit better than we did. I feel like that's something we have to do against everybody. But our quarterback Marcus Rue had his best game since he's taken over and threw for 160 yards. We had a 61-yard touchdown pass, I think, to Colin Stotts for our second touchdown to put us up 14-7, and Colin ended up with 5 catches for 115 yards on the night. So we were a lot more productive in the passing game than we've been. But when we had a couple opportunities to get it to score, we were unable to do that, score touchdowns, and had to settle for field goals, and that was really the difference. We had about our next to last drive of the night, we also had a long ball receiver, got a receiver open on play action pass, and Marcus threw a perfect ball, and we missed on that one too. Missed an opportunity there to score. So we had some opportunities to score. Their go ahead touchdown on us was we had a goal line stop at the 1-yard line and put our offense back on the field and had a fumble at the 1, and they were able to fall on it in the end zone for a touchdown. So, our defense really through most of the night did an outstanding job stopping a very good offense. But towards the end, the third, fourth quarter, when we weren't able to sustain some drives offensively, I think our defense got a little tired, and they were able to run the ball pretty effectively on us at the end of the game, and able to control the clock a little bit more and make it difficult for us to get the ball back. But I was very pleased with our effort all night long, and pleased to see a little an improvement in our passing game. We've really struggled with that the last couple of weeks since we've lost John Bohr. So and really we didn't have a great night passing it in the first game of the season when we had John, but we had 9 drops that night, and that was uncharacteristic of our receivers. We haven't had nights like that since then, and receivers have been doing a pretty good job of catching the ball. But we haven't. This week was the best job Marcus has done throwing it and making decisions, and that's just part of development. He hasn't had a chance to play, so he's getting better, I think.
Yeah, actually, it looks like he threw for 169 yards, which is a good game. And you also threw to 8 different receivers caught the football, which is that's a good thing to have happen.
We spread it around, and like I said, Colin Stotts I thought had an outstanding game. He had 5 catches for 115 yards, and so he was certainly a bright spot for us. But I think we have to be able to run the ball better than we did. And that's partly to Brownsburg credit. They are a very difficult defense to run the ball on, and we knew that going in. But with the success we've had running the ball, I just thought I felt like we could do a little bit better job than we did. So that's been the challenge for our offensive line and our running backs this past week, and because Avon's not much different. I mean, they're very athletic, probably more athletic than Brownsburg, and they've got a very good defense as well, and very similar, as in terms of the production of their defense, very similar to Brownsburg. They're 1 and 2 in our conference in terms of defensive scoring, and just a couple points separating them. So they're as stingy as Brownsburg. So we've got a work cut out for us this week. But hopefully the work against a very good team last week will help prepare us for this week.
Coach, like you said, talking about the upcoming game, playing Avon right after Brownsburg, Avon coming in 4-1, and the only loss they had was to Brownsburg, which it wasn't surprising, but it was, because it was kind of that Avon, Warren Central maybe in a league of your own. But as you well know, in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, I mean, it's just every week. Week you got to stay.
Yeah.
And you take your non-conference schedule, and I mean, you went and played 2 teams in the MIC, okay, and one happens to be North Central, which is really rolling, and so. It's been a tough season. I know that you're not a person that makes any kind of excuses and things like that, but
well, it's been tough in from terms of wins and losses, but it's like I've told our kids the last couple of weeks. I mean, the great thing about Indiana football is that there really are 2 seasons, and we can, if we want to sit around and pout about what's happening to us right now. We're not going to get any better. We just need to keep moving forward and keep working to get better. And I think at the end of the season, if we can be a better team than we are now, then things can happen. So you hope to get on a roll and hope to to get a big win here at some point. And right now that's what we're trying to do this week. It's a tall order. It's a tough a tough opponent to do it against, but. We're gonna we got to get on buses and go over there, and so that's always a tough trip. But I'm looking forward to seeing how every week I've looked forward to how our kids are going to respond, and I haven't been disappointed in our response yet this year. Certainly disappointed in the outcome of some games, but I haven't been disappointed with our effort. Haven't been and there's been a lot of things I've been very pleased about in terms of execution in our games, but we've just had some mistakes, primarily turnovers, and we only had 1 turnover last week, but it was a big one.
Yeah,
you can't turn it over, in the end zone and give them the go-ahead touchdown, and then we had we really had 2 passes dropped in the end zone. One of them we ended up kicking a field goal. The other one, we were just it was a long ball, and we just didn't bring it in. And you make those catches, and it's we win the game. So we're right there. We just need to keep working, and we feel good about our team. I feel good about the way we work. We had a great practice today. I feel good about the morale of our team, and we need to win certainly. But we're working. We're going to continue to work every week.
Well, that's good. And like I've heard you say in weeks past, you feel like you're getting, in certain aspects of the game, you're getting better and better each week. And that's what it's all about. You gotta ask your team, at the start of the season where you are and at the end of the season where you are. And I think you're progressing pretty well in that stage.
Well, that's
what it's about. Yeah. That's sort of the way life goes too, right?
Absolutely.
Well, thanks a lot, Coach. I appreciate you coming over and talking to us again. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I thank you, and especially for you doing this for those the 4 weeks here. And this is kind of our last show tonight, but we'll be interviewing different coaches here as games come along here, and I'll come to you. So
okay,
all right, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, we'll be right back in just a minute, with another football coach.
Yeah, I'm looking for Logan Street signs and banners.
You found us.
But this ain't Logan Street. This is South 10th.
We moved 22 years ago.
Well, how come you didn't change the name?
That would have just confused people.
Well, actually, South 10th is Allisonville, if you're from Fishers.
Well, before that it was 37A, and before that it was State Road 37.
So you're telling me that Logan Street signs and banners isn't on Logan Street anymore. It's actually on South 10th. That's Allisonville in Fishers. And before that, it was 37A and 37?
So you got that straight?
Logan Street signs and banners conveniently not located on Logan Street, but rather South 10th Street in Noblesville.
Exactly.
When medical care is needed, where will you turn? With Community's Connect to Care program, one call or click finds you the closest open appointment. Request a time yourself, or let us do it. From a primary care doctor or virtual visit, to a med check or community clinic at Walgreens. Just call or click. You can go right to our website or to me. Connect to Care from Community.
The IHSAA, in partnership with Blue Frame Technology, is pleased to announce that you can now watch your favorite IHSAA sports on the all-new IHSAA TV Apple TV app. Watch live or search through thousands of archived broadcasts. Have an older Apple TV? You can still watch on your TV by going to AirPlay on your iOS device and choosing Apple TV. Download the new Apple TV app now in the Apple TV App Store.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake. Yeah.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got a counter right here. Isn't this where you place the orders?
We sell trophies, we sell plaques, we do embroidery. No food.
You got carry out?
Unlike the internet, everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
You know, Jim, I'll be back tomorrow to pick it all up.
We'll wait for you.
Don't wait long.
Who's your quarterback?
Well, welcome back. I'm Perry Williams, and getting ready to talk Noblesville football coach. Welcome, Coach.
Welcome, Perry.
Tough one on Friday.
Yeah.
Would you say that?
Yeah, it's gonna be painful to talk about a little bit,
Yeah.
but as I told the kids, and the community and some people about the game itself. Really disappointed. Sometimes you can lose and you can you're never happy with a loss, but you can walk away feeling like the effort was good and you battled. I left that game frustrated because I felt like as a program we didn't play our best football game, and those are the hardest to accept. But when you win a couple football games, you might maybe even the staff a little bit feel like you might be a little bit better than what you are. And Zions was a really good football team. I wonder our coaches and players, and they had a really good game plan, and then they took advantage of the things that we gave them underneath. And the last few games we'd capitalize on turnovers that both Fishers and Westfield had given us, and we didn't quite get those turnovers. We didn't make those plays, and ultimately we gave up a few that resulted in touchdowns. But hands off to Zionsville. They played a great game. They're a good football team. I think they'll be a good opponent for New Palestine in that section, how that plays out. And for us, it's a matter of regrouping really quick against a very physical FC team.
I like the comment that you made, Justin, on after the ball game about it's great to win, but you also when you start winning, people are after you. Okay, and we didn't. You felt like we didn't really handle that real well.
No, we did not handle success. One of the things that believe it or not, my wife is sometimes the best person to bounce things off of, and I maybe was even talking to myself at 1:30 in the morning, but we just didn't handle winning the first two games really well. There were some of the kids that were overconfident, some of the kids that had looked at records and scores, and one of the things that I've learned very quickly about this conference, everybody is really well coached. Everybody has good players. So on any given night, any team can win. And I compare that sometimes with the NFL, and being an old Bengals fan, it's you watch the Bengals beat. Well,
yeah,
you watch the Bengals beat the Baltimore Ravens, but I guarantee a few weeks when the Bengals go play at Baltimore, it's a different football game.
Absolutely.
And so when you play in a conference like this with good players and good teams, it's always going to be a competitive game. And if you don't come mentally prepared and physically prepared, you can be beat not only, you can be beat soundly, you can be beat in a way that you didn't expect coming. I didn't see 24-0 coming. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know it was close to that, and I took some chances because I felt I had to. But if you'd have told me 24-0 before the game, I'd have told you you're crazy.
But I think I was watching the games from the stands, and some of those things that you took chances on, I think you were trying to motivate the group, okay, to get something going.
Absolutely.
Because we were pretty flat.
Well, I think the fake punts can be they can be productive for down the line. You want to run a fake punt, you want to do some things like that, just more than anything to let opponents know, hey, they have that. But like you said, they can be a spark. When if you go back and you watch the film and you get a block here, you do this a little bit different. I think it's a metaphor for the whole game. There's plays offensively that there's 10 guys doing it right and one guy not getting it done, and then it turns into a failure. And the fake punt could have been a big play, but it wasn't. Instead, I'm responsible. I made that call. We gave them the ball at midfield. They go down there and they make a big third down play and score a touchdown. And then in the second half, we go for it on fourth down. Maybe we punt the ball and pin them down, play good defense and field position wise. Instead, third and short, fourth and short, we don't get it. We give it back to them on short field, and they score again. And probably, not getting that fourth down in that beginning of that fourth quarter / I can't remember the moment in the game, but you could feel the energy. When you didn't get that fourth down, you could feel it let go. And I've been on the other end. I've been successful in those plays, and you're a hero. And they're like, Coach, that's a great call on fourth down. Instead, you're a horse's rear end because you go for two calls and you don't make it. But I will say this, when you lose, everybody's true colors are exposed, and we've had a lot of good people in our community, still very supportive, still very loyal, and there were a few naysayers and people that were critical of decisions, but the people that understand that it's a process, it's a game played by kids, and we had some kids sick that week. We had a bus ride. There are lots of factors and excuses, but none of those are acceptable. But they're all life learning experiences. So for us, we've got to take that and get better. And we had a good day of practice today, and we'll hopefully have a couple more and get ready for FC.
And you build on that. Well, let's talk a little bit about Franklin Central. This is a team that is new in our conference. They won 9 football games last year. Okay, they are struggling this season. Okay, but they're 0-5 now. Okay, but this is a pretty dang good football team. I mean, Decatur Central is a good team. They're out of conference. 14-0. And the one thing about it, see, they've already played
Avon
and Brownsburg and Zionsville. Okay, they've played them. Okay,
and that's the lesson today to the boys was, please don't look at a record. They were 9-2 last year. We went against them over at Warren in the summer, 11v11, and they beat the snot of us this summer. I mean, our kids know how good they are up front. They know how good their running backs are. They know it's a downhill type of football team, and I conveyed them, to our kids today that, hey, guess what? They played 2 of the best teams in the state already. They played a really good Zionsville team that beat you soundly last week. If you think that you're going to play on homecoming and enjoy the parade and the activities and just show up and play FC, and they're just going to give you a game on homecoming, you're foolish. So we worked really hard today at trying to match their physicality. It's a downhill football team. They've got a good defense. They play really physical football. I like the style of football they play. They're kind of like us in the fact that they might not have the same type of athletes that some of the other schools do, but they play really, really hard. They play a scheme that is downhill and allows them to make plays, and they're dangerous. They really are. And they beat Roncalli. They played great defense against Roncalli, and so for us, we've got lots of distractions going on. The homecoming around here is a big deal. Parades and on a level that I've never experienced homecoming to this degree, and I'm a little nervous because of all those different distractions, and I've talked to the kids about that. I'm trying to handle it. I walked into the locker room today, and there's posters and signs and ribbons, and it's great that there's support for the kids, but it's also just so dangerous because you don't want the boys to, lose focus. And so more than anything else, we got to play hard Friday. We got to play physical, and we've got to tune out everybody giving us candy and pajama day like it was today at school. And I think tomorrow,
there's something every day.
Tomorrow is country day or something of that nature, which again can be fun. But when you're dealing with kids and young men, a better way to put it, I shouldn't use the word kids. It's just, the slightest things can get you distracted. So we're going to work hard this week and fix that, and we'll enjoy the festivities, enjoy the parade, because I do want them to celebrate that. To get, especially for these seniors, there's one more chance to enjoy everything. So let's just let's play a clean foot. Let's have a clean week, practice and prepare well, and then Friday go out there and in front of a big crowd, homecoming, and play well for Noblesville.
Because I can tell you, because this week is my 50th year, so I'll be going on the field at halftime. But the one thing about it is, and I told all of my classmates and teammates that in the email, homecoming's not much different than it was 50 years ago. I mean, it was the parade, the festivities, the dress-up days, all those kind of things. And I don't believe that there's many 6A schools or 5A schools that do this type of thing.
Again, it's part of the reason.
Of the tradition. And why
it's part of the reason why I enjoy Noblesville. You drive through downtown and the signs are on the on the buildings. Go Millers, and there's not many places like that. It's pure. It's what makes Noblesville so unique. Is it's holding on to that hometown small community feel, even though it's
big.
Even though it's big, and I know that's an oxymoron, but again, it's what makes Noblesville great, and that's why I want our boys so much to play hard, because it means something. It really does. Absolutely. You need to play hard for those people coming back to watch this game, to play hard for people like yourself that when you're part of this 50 years ago, and you want to see those boys play hard and represent the N on that helmet like it's been displayed for so many years. So we just got to clean some things up and play a little bit better football, which I'm confident that we can, but we just practice and let's get at it. So
Yeah, one thing about it, Coach. Now, this conference is still pretty tight. If Westfield could slip up and get or beat Brownsburg here, that there's going to be a lot of 2-1 teams right now. Avon, Noblesville,
Absolutely.
Zionsville, and Westfield. And there's a lot of season left.
yeah, the Fishers game Friday night really
It shows you what.
just again you're thinking, you're scratching your head a little bit, like Fishers is down without a quarterback. They're a fumble away from beating HSC a couple weeks ago, or a play or two. I don't want to put on one play. It's not very fair to HSC because they're a good football team. But it's just, again, here's a team that you look at their record at Fishers, it's 1-4, but they almost beat one of the number 2 team in the state of Indiana. So it's a conference. It's fun. It's competitive.
Oh man, it's
But hot dang it, you better prepare. You better
be
be ready. Yeah, there's
and
no.
like you said, all these coaches in Hoosier Crossroad Conference, they're there for a reason.
They've
I
been
mean,
there,
they're
yeah.
very, very
Guys
successful
have,
coaches.
Guys have won state championships. They've been in the big games,
Yeah.
and I think we're all built the same in the fact that we, it's exciting to play somebody good every week. Your party is, you don't want them to be that good, but I think part of the enjoyment and satisfaction for me is that it's a chess match. It's competitive, and I know when I lose, I don't want to lose in anything. I don't want to. I mean, I'll race my wife down the stairs. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose that. So, as far as getting beat and being where we're at right now, it's program wise, culture wise. We need to win. We need to find a way to get it done Friday, and we need to play better.
Well, good luck this week against Franklin Central, and I'm sure I'll see you.
I'll take
and
some.
I'll be at the parade. and all
I'll
that.
take some luck. And
Yeah.
we'll enjoy the parade and hopefully have some smiles afterward.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Coach.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Well, we'll take another break, and we'll have a coach right back here in just a couple minutes.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for Logan Street signs and banners.
You found us.
But this ain't Logan Street. This is South 10th.
We moved 22 years ago.
Well, how come you didn't change the name?
That would have just confused people.
Well, actually, South 10th is Allisonville. If you're from Fishers.
Before that, it was 37A, and before that, it was State Road 37.
So you're telling me that Logan Street signs and banners isn't on Logan Street anymore? It's actually on South 10th. That's Allisonville and Fishers. And before that, it was 37A and 37?
So you got that straight?
Logan Street signs and banners conveniently not located on Logan Street, but rather South 10th Street in Noblesville.
Exactly.
When medical care is needed, where will you turn? With Community's Connect to Care program, one call or click finds you the closest open appointment. Request a time yourself, or let us do it. From a primary care doctor or virtual visit, to a med check or community clinic at Walgreens. Just call or click. You can go right to our website or to me. Connect to Care from Community.
The IHSAA, in partnership with Blue Frame Technology, is pleased to announce that you can now watch your favorite IHSAA sports on the all-new IHSAA TV Apple TV app. Watch live or search through thousands of archived broadcasts. Have an older Apple TV? You can still watch on your TV by going to AirPlay on your iOS device and choosing Apple TV. Download the new Apple TV app now in the Apple TV App Store.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake. Yeah.
It's a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got a counter right here. Isn't this where you place the orders?
We sell trophies, we sell plaques, we do embroidery. No food.
You got carry out?
Unlike the internet, everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
You know, Jim, I'll be back tomorrow to pick it all up.
We'll wait for you.
Don't wait long.
Well, welcome back to Hamilton County Coaches Show, and I have Guerin Catholic coach Tom Dilley with me today. And Coach, you have to be very, very happy about your Guerin Catholic boys because you had a big win against a 6A school in Columbus North as you won 17-10. I believe Columbus North was undefeated too, weren't they?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
so,
they were.
So let's talk a little bit about that ball game because from I did not get to watch the game, but statistically it looks pretty tight and there wasn't a whole lot of points scored. So let's just talk a little bit about that. Of course, you had a big, huge fourth quarter, and talk a little bit about because you had a lot of things distractions leading up to that ball game.
It was a tough week for our community and our program. We lost a great graduate, Evan Hansen, was a player for us my first year there, and tragically passed away a week ago today. And so lots of things going on, and some of the kids didn't really know who he was because it's been a while, but the coaches were hit pretty good, and the funeral was that day, and we went as a team, and so there was a lot going on that day. And then we get started in the game and let them out of the gate a little bit on a kickoff return into our territory, and then 2 plays later they're down on the 3-yard line and they punch it in, and so it was pretty ripe for maybe folding the tents or not fighting. But that's the biggest thing about this game. I'm just really proud of the way our kids fought. They just hung in there, hung around, and answered with a field goal. Then a lot of stalled drives, a couple 3-and-outs, some punts back and forth. Our defense played great the whole game, and then at the end we were able to make a couple plays on offense. And one of them is after taking advantage of an interception in the scoring zone, so that helped a lot. And again, I'm just proud of our kids hanging in there and fighting.
Yeah, because truthfully, it was 10-3 at half, and then the third quarter must have been it was just a defensive battle, right?
Yeah, a little bit back and forth, probably, a few mistakes on offense and some really good defense on both sides, and playing a field position game a little bit. Our punter, Rock Ricker, had a great game, and he's one of our safeties, had 2 interceptions, but also saved us. He punted well all night, which is really overlooked, and he also saved us on 2 potentially bad snaps and just got the ball out of there, and those could have been catastrophic. So game like that, those types of things are critical, obviously.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, just like in high school football here, and it doesn't matter whether it's 6A, 5A, 4A, and here in Central Indiana, you got another tough game coming up this week in Chittard, okay, and they got a great team and they got a great win this week, beating Southport, a good Southport team, soundly. So talk a little bit about this game, because it's not only now that you're in the Circle City football conference, both of you are undefeated in conference play. They're 2-0 and you're 1-0, but this is a big game.
Oh, sure, it always is. There are a lot of connections between our 2 schools and some of the teachers and administrators and coaches. And things of that nature. So, we have a ton of respect for their program, their community. It's always a huge challenge to play them. It's always a lot of fun to play them, even when it's really tough, because they're going to be well coached and physical and play hard, and we hope to do the same and have a good ball game.
Now, what are the strong suits with Chittard as far as offensively? And
they've changed their scheme a little bit in the last couple of years, but they're still a power run football team when you get right down to it. But they throw the ball really well too, and they're really good at taking what's available. They're really good at taking what you give them. They're good up front, as they've been for years, and they have 2 really good running backs and a number of really solid and good receivers. And their quarterback, the trigger guy, is nice and cool and calm, and has the skill to hurt you with his feet and hurt you with his arm. So offensively they're a pretty balanced team, but at the end of the day, if they have the chance to just run it at you, that's what they'll do. Defensively, they're back in that odd front slant angle 50 type defense that they've run for years, and they run it really, really fast. And kids play hard, play fast. They're good tacklers, and they play well as a unit. And all those things that they've been known for over the years. They're really stingy. You might catch them out of position, but they play so hard and fast that they kind of cover up.
Now, in a situation like that, you're going to Chittard to play Chittard. I'm sure you probably take a big fan base to Chittard, and of course, I'm sure they'll have a big crowd because this is a big. Whether you're in the conference or not, this has always been a huge game between Guerin Catholic and Chittard.
Yeah, and, this will be the first time we've played actually on their campus.
Yeah.
Of course, they've only been able to play a few games there so far, and it's really kind of neat for them to get that home field going. So I don't know how parking is going to be. We're all familiar with the area a little bit, and it'll be interesting. I imagine it'll be kind of a standing room only kind of deal, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Coach, how do you like? Because is this the first or second year for this Circle City Conference?
This will be the third.
Third year.
Third
okay.
year, yeah.
I kind of lose track of that,
Yeah.
but this is a pretty good conference with Chittard and Roncalli and Brebeuf and Heritage Christian. You got Brebeuf coming up down the line,
and Roncalli as well.
And Roncalli, so
Sure.
this is conference time right now,
Yeah.
and really a make or break in the season too, and the preparation because like I said, this is this is important in the regular season to get better every week, but you have another season when it comes state tournament time because it's you just start all over and
Sure.
you're done or you go on.
Yeah, we don't have that many teams in our conference, but they're all very quality programs and very well coached and have strong traditions, and that makes it a lot of fun. And but all we can do is just go out there and put our best preparation together every single week, and try to get as good as we can by Friday, regardless of who we're playing. And we have a lot of good non-conference opponents as well. So we're just going to try to go through our routine this week and prepare as well as we can and go play hard and see what happens.
Sounds good, Coach. Well, I wish you the best of luck because I know this is a big game for both teams, and I know you guys would like to get another win there. And with the great win you had at in Columbus North this week, it'd be nice to get another one
It's always
this
nice.
coming week.
Sure.
It's always nice to win.
Absolutely.
You don't have much to say when you don't win, right?
Yeah. We just want to play hard and have some fun.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back in about 2 or 3 minutes after our commercials and have another Hamilton County football coach.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for Logan Street signs and banners.
You found us.
But this ain't Logan Street. This is South 10th.
We moved 22 years ago.
Well, how come you didn't change the name?
That would have just confused people.
Well, actually, South 10th is Allisonville. If you're from Fishers.
Before that, it was 37A, and before that, it was State Road 37.
So you're telling me that Logan Street signs and banners isn't on Logan Street anymore? It's actually on South 10th. That's Allisonville and Fishers. And before that, it was 37A and 37?
So you got that straight?
Logan Street signs and banners conveniently not located on Logan Street, but rather South 10th Street in Noblesville.
Exactly.
When medical care is needed, where will you turn? With Community's Connect to Care program, one call or click finds you the closest open appointment. Request a time yourself, or let us do it. From a primary care doctor or virtual visit, to a med check or community clinic at Walgreens. Just call or click. You can go right to our website or to me. Connect to Care from Community.
The IHSAA, in partnership with Blue Frame Technology, is pleased to announce that you can now watch your favorite IHSAA sports on the all-new IHSAA TV Apple TV app. Watch live or search through thousands of archived broadcasts. Have an older Apple TV? You can still watch on your TV by going to AirPlay on your iOS device and choosing Apple TV. Download the new Apple TV app now in the Apple TV App Store.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake. Yeah.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got a counter right here. Isn't this where you place the orders?
We sell trophies, we sell plaques, we do embroidery. No food.
You got carry out?
Unlike the internet, everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
You know, Jim, I'll be back tomorrow to pick it all up.
We'll wait for you.
Don't wait long.
Well, welcome back to the Hamilton County Coaches Show. I'm Perry Williams, and as you can see next to me is John Kirshner, the head football coach at Hamilton Heights. Coach, you don't have your orange on today.
No, I don't. I had a long sleeve shirt on, and it got a little hot this afternoon in practice.
Okay, all right. Well, Coach, a tough game against Western. Western 55, the Huskies 0. Talk a little bit about that game. I think you pretty well knew that Western was going to be a pretty good football team.
We did know Western was going to be a pretty good football team. What most are not going to see is that 4 minutes to go in the game, it was 7-0. 4 minutes to go in the half, it was 7-0. In between that first kickoff return where they house it, we proceeded to get inside their 30, no points. Get inside their 20 in the second drive, no points. Both of those resulted in fumbles. Then, with the third drive, we get first and goal and miss a field goal. And from there, we had a 4-minute lapse where they scored 13 points. Now it's 19-0. Now you're in a hole. And that was probably the most frustrating part of that game, is that we had a multitude of opportunities, and in reality, we shot ourselves in the foot. Our defense played lights out in the first half. We single-handedly self-imploded our opportunities to be in a game where we were going toe-to-toe with a quality opponent. And they are a quality opponent. 100%.
Oh, absolutely. They're good.
I mean, they're a good football
good
team. They're good. They're well coached. You know, they execute what they're supposed to execute. But that was the biggest thing for me, is that we were right there. You know, we should have been 7-3 at half. We kicked that field goal. I think it's a whole different. Even if it's just a field goal, it's a whole different ball game, because they play mentality differently. Our mentality is different. Like, we've got something to grasp for, but it's just those little things. And there was turnovers. And we had 5 turnovers again last night, on Friday night. So, and in the second half, in 4 minutes, they scored 30 points. And it was just that lapse. 42 of their 55 came in 8 minutes and 36 seconds. Mm-hmm. So it was a frustrating night.
Coach, what about today's practice? I mean, you know, one thing when you have a loss like that, you have to put it behind you and move on. Kids pretty good today? Or
you know, the one thing one of the things that I love most about the kids is, you understand. It's understandable. They're going to be frustrated. They're going to be, flustered. Their spirits are down a little bit, and that's a little discouraging. But you know what? That's the reason I love coaching this group, is that it's time to get back to work. We've got another opportunity to get a win. Win one, and then we'll worry about the next one. And they just put their bootstraps on, and all right, today's another day. Can we win today? I mean, our attitude of practice was overall pretty good. We were attentive, and we were listening, and we went over things, and our set rec period for offensive line was phenomenal. No, I can't complain. The varsity group, and I don't know how the JV's doing right now. They're playing right now. Hoping they get their third win. They're 2-2, and You know, that their two losses were West Lafayette 24-0, and you know they played them, but West Lafayette's playing with older kids, and they played Mount Vernon's team, and Mount Vernon was a 35-14, but the 35 points came off the sophomores, juniors that my father played. Our freshman team, which is, I think we have 5 sophomores that played, 5 or 6 sophomores that played JV. But when it was freshman on freshman, we actually won 7-0. So our JV, we got some things cooking. We just got to get a few more pieces together.
And those are all important things when you're building a program because,
right.
You know, the one thing about it, the last few years has been a little lean, okay? So those things aren't going to happen overnight, okay? And I think you have a good group of freshmen. I think your 7th and 8th grade teams are doing. Those are all important. Your 6th grade. I mean, you've got kids coming, and you got some kids that could have some size because I always look at parents of some of these kids, especially in the younger, like 6th and 7th graders. There's some big fathers and stuff like that makes you think
I like
that you're
going
not.
To games. I've gone to a couple of the 8th grade games, and
yeah,
I'm like, okay,
yeah, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Well, let's talk a little bit about you got a game this week, a winnable game, okay, against Twin Lakes.
100%.
You have to go to Twin Lakes, okay.
Fun drive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, is that a little bit tougher to prepare?
I think when they
get there, you know, are you a little sluggish? How do you handle those type things?
Well, we're gonna, one of the things that we've done this year on road games that I think is beneficial for us is we've tried to establish a process for these road games because every one of our bus trips this year it was North Montgomery, which is an hour and a half. It's Northwestern, which is 45 minutes. This one's going to be an hour and a half. Lewis Cass is an hour plus. Luckily, we're home for the crossover conference game, but we decided this year, a couple of us coaches decided that it would be good if we created a process. So step one, and we're going to probably need to really rehash that just because it's a long ride. Step one, we do this. Step two, we do this. Step three, and it's a build-up. Everything that we do is a process, and it's a build-up to the game. So hopefully, if we can get ourselves in that mindset on Friday, they will be more prepared and ready to go. Because when you get on those bus rides, I've been on long bus rides. I rode to Penn High School twice, and I knew how sluggish at times I could be at the beginning of the game, and so playing in my own high school days. So I understand from a kid's standpoint what it's like. It's tough. It's tough. So I think that process, if we really hit that hard, it will help. And I've already decided that from an offensive line standpoint, warm-ups, when we're going into the offense, I'm going to change a couple things that might help us too. Just little tweaks on how we prepare in those last 10 minutes or so. That might help us get going a little bit.
Well, that's good because, with 6A football and all these schools here in 6A are all so close, the long ride may be one time a year to Avon or Zionsville.
That may not be until
Brownsburg.
sectional.
Yeah. So you don't have to have those, every week. And then, heck, it's almost, Westfield and, they always talk about the Fisher Southeastern matchups. So they're so close together. Well, the Westfield Noblesville is not very far either. So, so it's a lot different. And I know that it is very difficult when you play in 3A and you have to be ready for that because come sectional, and then if you're blessed enough to come regional, you're making some trips now.
We could legitimately go we did it last year. We went to Crawfordsville twice.
Yeah.
But North Montgomery, or South Mont, excuse me.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row, and the week before that it was Lafayette Central Catholic.
Yeah.
So it was 3 straight weeks of long, long rides. That wears on kids.
Yeah.
Wears on coaches.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Twin Lakes. What are we going to see?
You're going to see wing tee. You're going to see a lot of buck sweep. You're going to see a lot of counter. You're going to see some quick kids running the ball. You're going to see a decent offensive line. You're going to see 3-4 defense. Realistically, it's going to look like an old school 5-2. They're going to put 5 on the line, 2 inside linebackers. Guys, they're going to blitz a lot. They're going to slant. They're well coached. I mean, he's got a good program over there. I mean, he did a great job. Lewis Cass. It's no different here. They know their stuff. They're going to execute. They're going to play hard. We have to outdo those things. We do that, not turn the ball over. We do that, we can win. You know, I don't think they're going to out-athlete us. You know, I don't think they'll out-athlete us. I think they're about the same size-wise as us. But we have to execute better. We have to drive them off the ball, and we have to stop the turnovers. We have to be more fundamentally sound than they are. That's going to be the name of the game for these two teams right now.
Come out of the Western game pretty healthy and in pretty good shape, or outside
we
of
had
normal nicks and dings. And
Well, we had number 7, Sean King went down. He went out of the game. Number 87, early in the second quarter, went out with an ankle. 23 went out with an ankle. Don't know if they'll be back, or at least when they'll be back. I think they'll be back. I don't know when. That's 3 more starters, and I just found out that just got another season-ending injury today, so got the confirmation, and so it's getting a little tough. And I feel bad. It's tough for the kids. I feel bad for the kids because I can't do anything. I can't fix them.
yeah,
And they want to succeed so bad, and then when it's senior year, and some it's we just had one just had major surgery today, so we're currently out from the beginning of the season 9+ starters in the beginning of the season. So, but hey, it's next guy up.
and
We bring those guys
and those
along.
younger kids are developing, and
Yeah.
they're getting time to
Yeah.
play varsity football.
We got freshmen
when
and
they got
sophomores
to-
that are rotating right now. But in our system, and my belief is, it's next guy up. You got to be ready to play.
Absolutely.
100%.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you for coming here today and talking with us. And good luck at Twin Lakes and your ride up there for an hour and a half.
I appreciate
All
it.
right?
Sounds
Thank you.
good.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it. All right. We'll be right back with another coach in just a minute.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for Logan Street signs and banners.
You found us.
But this ain't Logan Street. This is South 10th.
We moved 22 years ago.
Well, how come you didn't change the name?
That would have just confused people.
Well, actually, South 10th is Allisonville. If you're from Fishers.
Before that, it was 37A, and before that, it was State Road 37.
So you're telling me that Logan Street signs and banners isn't on Logan Street anymore? It's actually on South 10th. That's Allisonville and Fishers. And before that, it was 37A and 37?
So you got that straight?
Logan Street signs and banners conveniently not located on Logan Street, but rather South 10th Street in Noblesville.
Exactly.
When medical care is needed, where will you turn? With Community's Connect to Care program, one call or click finds you the closest open appointment. Request a time yourself, or let us do it. From a primary care doctor or virtual visit, to a med check or community clinic at Walgreens. Just call or click. You can go right to our website or to me. Connect to Care from Community.
The IHSAA, in partnership with Blue Frame Technology, is pleased to announce that you can now watch your favorite IHSAA sports on the all-new IHSAA TV Apple TV app. Watch live or search through thousands of archived broadcasts. Have an older Apple TV? You can still watch on your TV by going to AirPlay on your iOS device and choosing Apple TV. Download the new Apple TV app now in the Apple TV App Store.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake. Yeah.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got a counter right here. Isn't this where you place the orders?
We sell trophies, we sell plaques, we do embroidery. No food.
You got carry out?
Unlike the internet, everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
You know, Jim, I'll be back tomorrow to pick it all up.
We'll wait for you.
Don't wait long.
There you go.
Well, welcome back. I'm Perry Williams. Alongside me is the Hamilton Southeastern coach, Adam Morris. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.
Oops.
Boy, I tell you what, I know you came up on the short end of the stick in that Westfield 34, Southeastern 27, but it was a shootout. I mean, it was a well-played football game, and
Yeah.
both teams back and forth the whole entire game. So first quarter 10-7, and it went from there, and scoring back and forth. Third quarter was not really exciting. It was 3-0, but it was a ball game. So talk a little bit about the Royals on offense and some of the things that happened during the ball game.
Yeah, we're a young football team, and obviously as a staff right now, we preach details every single day in practice with how they carry themselves and in games. And we've had quite a few games now where I think our kids have learned and been on both sides where the details have helped us and where the details have hurt us. And I think it was some small things, some details that hurt us in that football game. I did think that we competed. I did think that throughout the course of the game, our kids always felt like they had a chance to win. I was very pleased. We have made some progress, definitely offensively. We're still not where we want to be, but our ability to run the football, which is something we really stressed all week in practice, and as a program, we've made a big deal. Completed some passes. Still got to complete a few more, but completed some that we hadn't necessarily completed in the weeks before. So we made some progress offensively. Defensively, I thought we were okay in the first half, and then they had some drives in the third and fourth quarter that just really wore us down.
Well, Harris had a big game, 24 carries, 259 yards, but, Stevens had 8 carries, 56 yards. So, so you had some running from other people besides Harris.
Absolutely, yeah. Matt's a kid who's really came along this year. Did a really good job in that Fishers game when we went in our Wildcat package. We were really pleased. Lance Stevens was actually our offensive skilled player of the game, not just for how he ran the ball. He had a big catch out of the backfield, had some great blocks in pass protection, had some great blocks in the running game. Definitely our ability to run the football. It was good to see as a program and as a staff. Now it's a new week. Zionsville is going to present a different challenge, and it'll be tough to run the football. But it was nice to see Friday for sure.
What about that defense of the Royals? Let's talk a little bit about it.
I still think our kids competed. You look at the first drive of the game, have 2 face masks, have a pass interference call in the end zone. That was a little frustrating. And our kids still found a way to hold them to a field goal. The big play, the big passing play in the second quarter was a killer. Between that and then obviously the pick six, we told our kids in a way we felt like we almost spotted them 14 points, and you can't do that to a Westfield team or to any team in this league. So that's something we have to get better at. We're going to see a team that can definitely throw the ball downfield this week. So we'll work on it in practice, and we'll correct the things we need to.
Well, that's good. Well, let's talk about, because Zionsville came off a victory this last week, 24-0 against a Noblesville team that had won 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, had beat Westfield in the rain the week before. But, when you play in the rain, I know that both teams are the same, but the game, you have to change the game completely on how you coach and in the rain and things like that. And you can't really sometimes open up your offense. But, Zionsville played a very good game this week against Noblesville. And like you said, they got a heck of a passing attack.
Yeah. I think that they do an unbelievable job. Their staff does. I obviously last year at a previous school, I was unbelievably impressed with Zionsville when we played them. Last year, Zionsville handled HSC pretty well. We have a lot of respect for their program. Offensively, the quarterback is a really good player. The 2 receivers, Tommy Fawcett, Jordan Hull, are unbelievable players.
Yeah, they can get up and like you said, Wagner's unbelievable. I mean, he almost has 1,000 yards passing this season,
Yeah.
and he's the best in the conference.
Yeah. Running
passing.
back's a good player. People just
Bumgarner
don't talk about him because he maybe doesn't have quite the numbers. I've always been impressed with them up front the last 2 years. They have some big kids who have good feet and do some good things. And then defensively in that stack, they're aggressive and they move and stunt and blitz and then they present a real challenge in the kicking game with some of the things that they do with the extra points and surprise onside kicks. It's like they got more surprise onsides than regular kicks. So it'll be a challenge.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I wanted to talk about. I think as a coach, and I think it's very, very difficult to prepare for Zionsville because they do so many, like you were saying, sometimes they line up with 2 kickers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they got plays where the kicker kicks the ball and he recovers the ball. I mean, different things like that. I mean,
should be cheating, shouldn't it?
Yeah. You should have. I mean, you have to prepare for a lot of things, and for a head coach, if you're not careful, you get distracted on that stuff because you got so much stuff inside your mind here of trying to teach these kids to make sure. So they give you a lot of looks.
Yeah. I think the thing is just how hard it is to simulate, and you do your best to simulate formations offensively and stunts defensively. Trying to simulate some of those kicks is hard, and are we going to spend some extra time fielding those types of kicks, doing those types of things? Sure, but it's still not anything like how a kid is going to feel on a Friday night. So you're going to prepare. You're going to do everything you can. They still get some of those kicks and they still get some of those things, and it's not because they're catching anybody by surprise because people know they're going to do it. So you just do your best to prepare and kind of cross your fingers when those plays come.
Coach, you're into this season now. You got 5 games under your belt. You basically started with an entirely new staff. You coming into that school really kind of cold. I guess you were there a little bit that last
spring,
in the spring, but it's still a little bit different. You feel like you're progressing pretty good, and your kids are starting to really get it on what you're trying to accomplish there at Southeastern.
Yeah, it's everything is new, and I think even to an extent as a coaching staff, right, we're still getting to know each other, and everybody has been at places that have done things really well and have really good ideas with how practice should be set up. What do Saturday mornings look like the days after games? What do Sundays look like, which is a really big day as a staff? But I've been pleased, and at the end of the day, it's about building relationships with kids, and kids have to have a positive experience. And I do think whether it's the Fridays we win, the Fridays we lose, I do think our kids enjoy being around us, and I do think they're playing hard right now. We want the results for them because they're working hard. We want them to experience some success. But I'm definitely pleased. Not satisfied, not even close, but pleased with some of the progress we've been able to make.
Well, and the one thing that as grown-ups, and sometimes these kids are pretty resilient, and they understand what they have to get accomplished. And of course, I guess it was an advantage for you to stand back as an assistant last year, not as a head coach, and take a look at what's in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference. So. Yeah. You have kind of an idea in your own mind and of what you're going to see and what you're going to expect.
Sure, absolutely. It was definitely a blessing. Didn't necessarily anticipate I'd end up in a seat like this, not shortly after. But obviously having some experience with the teams in the league, getting around to be a guy like Jason Simmons, you're not going to find a better coach. So it was an unbelievable experience for me.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I appreciate you, and best of luck this week. We're not going to have any more shows because we got all these things going on, but we'll definitely catch up with you here maybe a week or so, and I'll come over there and interview you, and we'll get that taken care of, and that way you can concentrate on bringing us home because you got, 4 more conference games
it's winding down.
So it's winding down, and you start all over. That's one great thing about Indiana high school football. When you go tournament, you start over.
Absolutely. We're excited.
Well, I appreciate you, Coach, and thanks a lot for coming. And we'll be right back. And I think it's probably Sheridan coach Bud Wright. So we'll be right back after these commercials.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for Logan Street signs and banners.
You found us.
But this ain't Logan Street. This is South 10th.
We moved 22 years ago.
Well, how come you didn't change the name?
That would have just confused people.
Well, actually, South 10th is Allisonville. If you're from Fishers.
Before that, it was 37A, and before that, it was State Road 37.
So you're telling me that Logan Street signs and banners isn't on Logan Street anymore? It's actually on South 10th. That's Allisonville in Fishers. And before that, it was 37A and 37?
So you got that straight?
Logan Street signs and banners conveniently not located on Logan Street, but rather South 10th Street in Noblesville.
Exactly.
When medical care is needed, where will you turn? With Community's Connect to Care program, one call or click finds you the closest open appointment. Request a time yourself, or let us do it. From a primary care doctor or virtual visit, to a med check or community clinic at Walgreens. Just call or click. You can go right to our website or to me. Connect to Care from Community.
The IHSAA, in partnership with Blue Frame Technology, is pleased to announce that you can now watch your favorite IHSAA sports on the all-new IHSAA TV Apple TV app. Watch live or search through thousands of archived broadcasts. Have an older Apple TV? You can still watch on your TV by going to AirPlay on your iOS device and choosing Apple TV. Download the new Apple TV app now in the Apple TV App Store.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake. Yeah.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got a counter right here. Isn't this where you place the orders?
We sell trophies, we sell plaques, we do embroidery. No food.
You got carry out?
Unlike the internet, everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
You know, Jim, I'll be back tomorrow to pick it all up.
We'll wait for you.
Don't wait long.
Well, welcome back to the Hamilton County Coaches Show, and I don't think anybody doesn't know this face next to me here, the head football coach of the Sheridan Blackhawks, Larry Bud Wright, and that's one thing I miss about doing the interviews, Bud, is I don't get to talk to you as much on the air. Now, as you well know, that I get you as much as I can off the air when you and I are sitting in there, just you and I.
Right.
But another big win for you, Coach. You picked up a big victory this past week against Clinton Prairie, winning 48-6. You want to take us a look? You got off to a good start, didn't you?
Right, real good.
Yeah, you scored 22 points in that first quarter, and
then we scored another touchdown. Started the second quarter, went up 28-0. Then we decided to take some time off.
Yeah, and then you cranked it back up in the fourth quarter. There, got 13 points.
Yeah, well, we had a little talk at halftime, and we played a little bit better than the third. I'd say from the middle of third quarter and fourth quarter, we played a lot better. Yeah. But we played pretty good the first quarter. Like I say, the second quarter, I think they felt like that they didn't have to play any longer since 28-0 lead. And we kind of let Prairie get back a little. They scored a touchdown, and they got fired up and gave us the game for about a quarter and a half then.
So you had a motivational talk at halftime with the players?
We had a motivational talk, right. And
well, Coach,
they responded.
Yeah, Coach, the one thing about it, it's it was typical Sheridan football, Blackhawk football, that running game, Burnell and what is it, Hovey? And,
yes, Hovey.
And Manis. I mean, you just keep running them in there. And
Yeah,
Total
right.
rushing yards, 410 yards. So.
Right, and it was the first game this year that we had two kids over 100 yards, same ball game. Burnell got 166 yards, and that averaged 12.8 yards a carry. So maybe I should run him a little bit more, you think?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's
And then Hobie had 107 yards, and then Menace had 77 yards. So we had three of them up there. And actually, we got Menace is over, I think 464, and Hobie's 391.
393.
393.
And Burnell's at
Burnell's
389.
389. So, and then the quarterback's over 100 also.
Yeah.
So, our running, we get mad sometimes and say we're not blocking, but you got four backs over 100 yards.
You're doing something
Something
pretty good.
doing right, yeah.
Yeah. Because to be quite honest, if you didn't have those blockers up front, I don't care who you are as a running back, you're not going to do very well.
That's true. That's true.
And you know, the one thing a little bit different for you too is Drake Delph, 21 for 37, 433 yards passing, and you know that you've went entire seasons without throwing 433 yards, right?
Oh yes. The lowest we ever did, I think, one year we only attempted 28 passes the whole year, but we throw the ball a little bit more now. We threw the ball 11 times Friday night, completed 5. Burnell caught 4 of those on top of what he rushed for. And then Jesse Kolb, our tight end, caught the other one for a touchdown. So that gives, I think Jesse's got 7 touchdown receptions on the year.
Yeah, he's got, of course, he only had one catch for 8 yards, but he now has, for the year, has 287 yards receiving.
Right, plus 7 touchdowns.
Yeah. So
he's coming right in there.
Yeah. Well, Coach, what about this week? You got another big game this week to play Taylor. Okay.
Taylor Titans.
Yeah, they're coming in 2-3. Another conference game. Okay, and right now you're in the Hoosier Heartland. You're sitting at the top at 4-0, and Eastern's 2-0, and Clinton Central's 2-1. So let's talk a little bit about Taylor.
Okay, Taylor Titans started out the year pretty good. They won their first 2 ball games, and they lost their last 3, but they got some athletes and they got good speed. I think they got a couple of move-ins and such there that's helped them out. But you know, they're just not used to winning. They play pretty tough, and then when something turns against them, then they sort of let up a little bit. We noticed on film. But they've gone a while without winning, and so you know, that's a problem trying to turn a program around. You got to deal with that, and I think they're going through that stages. But they got some kids that can run. They got kids that can catch the ball, and the quarterback he started on and off for the last 3 years. He started some as a sophomore, then I think last year he started and got hurt and was out for a while, and he's starting again this year. So he's actually he's got 3 years experience, and so you know they're solid. They right now I think we feel like that their blocking up front is questionable, and that's where we hope that we're going to be able to have an advantage.
What about defensively, Coach? Can they handle that run, or?
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
They're struggling right now handling the run, and that's that's going to be mainly a part of our game plan about every week, as we're going to try to run the football, and they've had problems this year against the run. Yes.
Coach, you were talking about that winning tradition and those type things, that when you get in that rut, you start losing and you start doing those different things. You've been on both sides,
Sides.
But with over 400 wins, what is it now? 410, 411?
Right now, we've got 4 this year? It's 414.
414. So,
Yeah.
so obviously you've won more than you've lost, but you've been on both sides of that fence.
Right.
How tough is it? I mean, because it's pretty difficult when you win all the time too, because you got this big old bullseye on your chest that says, "Hey, I'm going after you.
Everybody's after you.
Yeah.
And but you're right though. You get that confidence and you go in expecting to win, and then when you go the other way, you go in the ball game. The kids, well, they want to win, but they just don't know, and they just don't play with that confidence. And we've been up and down 3 different times in the years I've been there. We went down 3 times, and I brought them back. But it's a struggle. Mainly, it's a mindset, and we're going through that right now. In the last 3 or 4 years, we're a good football team, and we just haven't made that step on up to the next level. And a part of that's the mindset. The kids don't know that they're good enough to win or not. When you're winning, you always think you're going to win. And that's the talk we had tonight as far as the game is concerned. We talked about the kid's got to get himself in a state of mind that he's going to push himself as hard as he can all 4 quarters. And that's what you strive for. We just got to get that mindset. They don't know, like last week going to Clinton Prairie, I mean, they saw the scores. They knew that Prairie got beat by teams that we beat handily, and they went in. Well, we're going out and get the job done, but then we could just coast along a little bit. They don't really put that strong effort out, and this is what we talked about: is you got to be able to put a team away and not have those let-ups. And once you get it put away, then you can sub and sort of take it easy, but that's where we are. Is that our kids right now? Last couple of years, I think last 3 years, they go in against teams that they know they can win, really do good, but then they question themselves, and we have problems with teams that are better than us or equal to us.
Yeah, Coach, and one thing that changed over the last 6-7 years I've been back. Football is getting stronger in the state of Indiana, okay?
Right.
Every
definitely.
year, okay? And 1A football is no different. I mean, there are, back in the day, there wasn't as many great 1A football teams, but there is a bunch of good 1A football teams that are being very well coached.
You're absolutely right. It's all relative of what level you're at, you're 1A level. Sure, you're not going to beat a 5 or 6A level team, even though we have at times. But the teams that are not the top. But you just got to go in and approach every game like they are a good football team. But 1A teams used to be, we felt like that we could outcoach them. You talk about teams getting better. Is the coaching in Indiana has really changed. It's really got better and better, a lot better down through the years. And we used to feel like that we could outcoach most teams. But now coaching has changed. There's not that many. I say bad coaches around anymore. What you got now is a lot of really good coaches who put the time into it, try to get the job done. So that's where you are now. I think the coaching stepped up a little, which made teams better, and kids are bigger and stronger right now. I mean, we're 275, 274, 270 on the front line, and we played teams. Three of the teams we played are bigger than us.
Man.
And 1A, that's a 1A level team.
That's unbelievable.
Prairie last week, they had 330, 310, 295, and 270. These are 1A schools, and kids are just getting bigger and faster. And it's just like the pros.
Same way.
50 years
college, same way.
Yeah, look back 40 years ago in the pros and such there. How many 300-pound kids do you have? Now, if you're not a 300-pounder, you don't hardly play.
Yep. Well, Coach, it's great talking to you again, and you always bring a great perspective about the game of football, and I enjoy it very much. wish you the best against the Taylor Titans this week. And
It's homecoming.
Homecoming. All right, so that's a big deal over there, and thank you for coming, and thank you for visiting this season. And I'm sure I'll probably come over there one of the practice here in the next 2 or 3 weeks and interview you over there with all the things we got going on. But
We'd appreciate
it's always a joy to talk to you.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, we're gonna go an earlier interview I did today with Jake Gilbert, the football coach of the Westfield Shamrocks. They played Hamilton Southeastern this weekend. So let's hear from Jake Gilbert.
Ready?
Well, welcome. I'm Perry Williams, and this is Hamilton County Coaches Show. With me today is Jake Gilbert, the head football coach at Westfield. Congratulations, Coach. Big win.
Yeah, we needed it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and it brings up an interesting topic with the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, and especially with who you're playing this week. It's Brownsburg is 3-0, but Avon, Noblesville, Zionsville, and Westfield are all 2-1. So this is kind of wide open if you can knock off your foe this week in Brownsburg.
Sure, that's a tall task. They're pretty good. But.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your game against Southeastern, because it was a great ball game. Westfield won 34, Southeastern 27. But as you look at quarter by quarter, Coach, you got a pretty good start. You put 10 points on the board early in that first quarter. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, in our 3 wins, we've had great opening drives of each half, and we were able to do that again. Pretty strong finishes in most of those wins too. But the opening drive, we stalled and got 3 points, but it was a great drive that we put together. And that's how we want to start. So that was really good. Just felt good about our first half offensively overall. Did not feel good about our first half defensively, and very disappointed in that. But then we were able to put it together defensively in the second half. So I think we gave up 3 points in the second half defensively and only scored 10. But the 24 that we scored in the first half felt like our offense was clicking. Now 7 of that was a pick 6. So we scored 7 of those points on defense in the first half. But, yeah, great start for our football team.
Yeah, and, of course, exact opposite on weather this week compared to last week, okay, where you're playing in the rain and wind and stuff like that. So, Cam Simons bounced back and had a very good game through the air.
He was outstanding. I think he was 17 for 20. Which, you can't complete every pass, and you're always going to have a drop and a throwaway in there. So he was outstanding. He ran the ball fine, and he's been great running the football this year. But this may have been his first game with no interceptions, maybe a second. But that's the biggest thing, keep the other team from getting it. And then he made some big plays, huge touchdown pass in the second half to Pat Beam to get us sparked, and just some really good play overall, very accurate passing.
And the one great thing about it, he spread his passes around. Now, Wheeler did catch 9 passes for 113 yards, but you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other guys catch passes. And, of course, you just talked about Beam's 1 catch at 77 yards. So, he did spread it around. And how about the running game, Coach? Paget 14 carries, 87 yards, and then Hauser had 14 carries, 58 yards, and Simons 15 carries, 52 yards. So,
yeah, we kind of have a little bit of a 2-headed monster there at running back, and play both of those kids, or at least we did this past week, which is good. I felt great about Eli. I thought he got stronger later in the game. They were doing a pretty good job, but I felt like our O-line improved as we went, and in the second half I thought we ran the ball much better, and I thought Eli got stronger. He had a 21-yard touchdown run that was a huge spark for us and catalyst for us, and kind of helped us seal things, I think. And then Micah he had some good burst out there and made some good plays, and it's just good to have a little change of pace there. And those guys have been great. And then we run the Q basically as a way to keep them honest and make them defend it and things like that. But we know Camden can gobble up some yards when he runs it. So, yeah, 3 guys, about 45 carries. That's what we like to do.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. Well, Coach, big game coming up this week, and you'll be playing Brownsburg, which has a great running game. Let's talk a little bit about Brownsburg. I think Fishers, played a very good ball game against them. Brownsburg won 27-20, and it was tight all the way. So let's talk a little bit about the Brownsburg team.
Well, they're ranked second in the state. They're undefeated. They're outstanding defensively. For them to hold Fishers to 17 yards rushing, that's
big.
Yeah, because Fishers knows how to run the football and is very well coached. So to hold those guys to 17, that was saying a lot, I thought. And then offensively, they have a couple just really dynamic guys. Their tailback is outstanding. He's a returning starter, and he ran the ball for 250 yards this past week.
Yeah, and he had, 40 carries, was it?
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah.
He's a stud.
Yeah.
And then Bryce Kurtz at wide receiver is going to Northwestern, and he's explosive. Both those guys are super fast. They're hard to deal with. So they make you, double team Kurtz because it's hard to cover him with one guy, and then when you do that, that kind of lightens your box. But they've got a big lineman and an outstanding tailback, so they're really hard to defend.
Yeah, and when you take a look at the stats for the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, the running backs, one of the top, rushers and in the conference, and does a great job. What's his name? Marcus? Is that what's the tailback?
Donnie Marcus.
Yeah, Donnie Marcus has 817 yards so far this season.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And 5.6 yards per carry.
That's not too shabby.
That's not too shabby. So, and then of course, they have a young quarterback, a sophomore.
Yeah, I think he's really
but
good.
he's got a good arm.
He's
got a good arm, and so they have a lot of weapons. And plus, when you have a lot of weapons on offense and you have a strong defense, it's sometimes very, very tough.
Yeah. Again, they're going to be hard to deal with. I thought, Ben Easters was an excellent quarterback last year. He played JV for Noblesville as a freshman, and I felt like I thought he was outstanding. I thought he would maybe provide some competition over there. So I'm a big fan of his. He just really impressed me when we played them in JV, just how hard he played in it, and he's very talented.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty fortuitous move in for Brownsburg because that kid can really play.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, let me see what you got. This will be Game 6, so you got Brownsburg, and then you got Avon, Fishers, and Franklin Central. So all Hoosier Crossroad
See what we're made of.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier, does it? No, but
okay.
But that's the one thing about the Hoosier Crossroad Conference. Not only is it tough during the season, it's also tough in the non-conference game. So you have to be ready every week to play the game.
That's what we signed up for.
Absolutely, and you knew that going in.
Yes, sir.
And that's why you're in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, right?
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and talking with us.
Thanks for the coverage.
Thank you.
Go Rocks.
Well, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the Hamilton County Coaches Show. I know I did tonight, getting the opportunity to interview all these coaches that I don't normally do. And, of course, I always love to talk to Larry Bud Wright, a man that's won 414 football games. You can learn a lot from a man like that. But let's talk a little bit about what's coming up here. One thing I want to tell everybody about is we are doing a celebrity kickball tournament at Hamilton Southeastern on Saturday, okay? And this is a fundraiser down there for the Fishers Recreation Department, okay? And we'll be down there doing that, and that game starts at 1 p.m. So we'll be doing that. Of course, Friday night's game of the week this week will be the Noblesville Millers against Franklin Central. And this will be the first time that Noblesville and Franklin Central has played in several years because they're the newest member of the Hoosier Crossroad Conference. So this will be exciting. It's homecoming. It's even my 50-year anniversary of Noblesville football. So exciting day. We got a parade, all that. And, of course, we'll be on the air. That game starts at 7:30, a little bit different time on that. But the festivities will be started, parade at 4 o'clock. Also, that same night, we'll have another game day broadcast. 4 different football games will be on air, and we're really enjoying it. We're getting some very, very good numbers on that. So check out Game Day Football. Well, this is Perry Williams along with Jim Wofford, and we'll see you next time on Hamilton County Coaches Show.